Hi, my name is Chris Causey. I'm a licensed mental health counselor here in Washington State. I wanted to make a quick video for you to give you 3 things to keep in mind when you're choosing your first therapist, okay? Number 1, ask questions. Number 2, understanding that there are different styles of counseling. And number 3, honesty, being honest. All right, number 1. Number 1 is probably the most basic, asking questions. Asking questions is probably the most basic way you can advocate for yourself. As a therapist, when people call me looking for therapeutic services, they ask me all kinds of questions. If you've ever called me, you know I always ask that. What questions do you have for me? People usually say, are you on my insurance? How much do you cost? Where exactly are you located? How soon can I get in? Things like that. I want to encourage you to ask deeper questions, maybe questions about their training, their education. What are all those letters behind their name? I love it when my clients will ask me, okay, what is a CSAT? What does the NCC mean behind your name? Now, LMHC, is that your licensure? Or what's an MDiv? What LMHC, what does that mean again? Love it when people ask me that. When they ask me where I went to school, I'd love to explain that. Don't be afraid to ask the questions because you want to be an informed consumer. You don't want to go in blind. You want to eliminate the greatest amount of unknown that you can when you're going to see a professional. Number 1, asking your questions. Number 2, understanding there are different styles. So asking questions kind of moves into that question about their styles. Ask a therapist, what style of therapy do you offer here? Oftentimes, clinicians, when you see a therapist portrayed in movie or on TV, you know, there's like the sofa and the client is laying down the sofa and you got the therapist is like, you know, behind them with a notepad, maybe a pipe. I don't know. I don't have a pipe. But just the client is talking about something and you see the therapist go, oh, okay. You know, that kind of stuff. I know some therapists who do that. That's fine, perfectly normal, perfectly healthy. Me, my personal style, I'm a little more directive. I like to give suggestions. I like to kind of operate sometimes like a coach, give a recommendation for something. I can't make anybody do anything. That's not my style. My style is more collaborative. So it's important that you ask a therapist, what kind of style do they operate? I mean, there are some therapists out there that'll tell you what to do. Here's what you need to do. If you don't do that, you're not a client. That's kind of harsh. They're out there. Some people use a combination of different styles. You get the idea. Okay, so we got asking questions, we got understanding there's different styles of therapy, and the third one is honesty. Not my honesty, your honesty. What are you wanting to work on? What issues are you struggling with? Because I'm a specialist in trauma and addiction, my hunch is that it's about one of those two, but not always. So when I ask a question about what do you want to work on, sometimes people say, well, I've got some anxiety. Sure, okay. I get folks that call me, they want to do couples work, guy wants to work on phobias around dogs. That's all fine. That helps me get a sense of what we're going to be tackling together with this, all right? Sometimes as a consumer, as someone looking for a therapist, you don't know what goals you want to work on. You don't know what goals you have for therapy. So it's important to kind of maybe do a little thinking about that because you know the therapist, your potential therapist, may ask you some questions too and give you an opportunity to be honest. Because I think people need a safe place to come and just unload and just to kind of talk about the stuff that they never really talked about. Be honest about what goals you have for therapy. Be honest about maybe what you want to work on. Because get this, therapists, at least in Washington, I think nationwide, but in Washington State, we are guaranteed, excuse me, we're not guaranteed. Therapists are bound by law to keep things confidential. So that gives you the freedom. All right? It gives you the freedom to be as honest as you need to be in any situation. So, all right, to review, all right? What's the first one? Asking questions. Second one is understanding there's different styles of therapy. And the third one is honesty, being honest. Your honesty, all right? Hope this was helpful for you. My name's Chris Causey. Make good choices. You like to walk away?